Well, here we go. Back here I'm going to try to finish this radiator and hoses and stuff up. I don't know where I left off on the last video. This pile of wires here is basically my ignition and lights and horn. I've got some red wires over there that I'm going to run for the power to the radiator fans. I checked them yesterday, they're all good. I could about put my transmission hoses on it. I got some more of these little spring ties, try to hook up that radiator. The problem is that I really can't get in there to do anything, and I can't get through this hole here. I can just barely get my hand in it. But at this point, that's what I got to do, is fix the rest of that, an alternator bracket, my hoses, clean this wire up, and that's the goal today, is to get this wire all done and whatever I can put on that radiator put. And once I get the transmission lines on it, and I don't really want to put the floorboard in it now because I got to get under there and weld, so I can't really hook up the accelerator pedal. But I got a whole mess of wires there that need to make a final decision what I'm going to do with. But anyway, the first part's getting this front end done here. We'll bring you back when I get some more of that fixed. I decided to put my little thermostat here on the alternator bracket. I'll have a pretty straight shot with my probe and my wire that I'm taking off the alternator. I had it running down and back around in front of the radiator, but this will give me a 3 or 4 inch piece, and that'd be much better than a 3-foot one. I'll go ahead and finish wiring it up. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty sanitary. Know what's happening with this hose here. I didn't even think about that. It's going to go across the top here, so I may have to move this again somewhere. But I've got the wires all bundled up and tied up against the fan. I think that's good enough, and this thing here will just go straight over into the radiator. You got to be real careful with these burn-on tubes that you don't bend them or kink them, break them. What's death on these, if they get touched by a hot wire and it's grounded, man, it just pops a little hole in it, and that's the end of your thermostat. But I don't have it hooked to power right now, but got it hooked up right, and I've got the power here for now running to a constant hot. I don't have it hooked up into the hot wire downstairs yet, but probably should have some kind of a switch in there. But basically that would be something for a later day. Now I have to measure me a piece of pipe there for that alternator. Put me a spacer in here. I'm going to need a shorter bolt. I need a fan hose, a fan belt. I've got something to do with this gas hose here, sort of gonna be in the way. I'll tie that all up. You gotta figure me out a bottom radiator hose. But this was part of what was stopping me, was getting these fans all electrically wired up. Now they are. I can go ahead and measure the parts I need, get me a rough idea how long a belt I'm going to need, and radiator hoses. Today I put that Jaguar over there up for sale, and phone went crazy with spammers and scammers. Anyway, this little project here is done. I've got a white wire that's running down inside the radiator there. That's the one I was going to use for the power, but I cut it right off there. The reason I'm using it because it's real heavy gauge wire. It would be better if it was red, but it's not. But I may use that for the horns or something. Anyway, I got a white wire down in there somewhere. I can get to it from the bottom. I just don't feel like crawling under it. I got the lights in. This is my running light wires. They're all set up. So that's good enough for now. I'll try to measure some of this stuff and see what I can get done. I'll go home, I can turn something on a lathe and bore it, or probably just find a piece of pipe. That's all I really need. So this is coming along pretty good. A couple radiator hoses, belt, and hook up my transmission. I'll have to make some kind of a final mount here for this. I'll probably just put a angle bracket right here off of this bolt. It goes into that radiator. I gotta get some kind of rubber down there on the bottom. Anyway, this was somewhat of a mess. All that stuff over there, that's my headlights, and some other stuff I don't know, on turn signals and stuff. I gotta get it hooked up, but I'll get this hood up and do that, and then I have to finish up my turn signal wiring and stuff here. Still got quite a bit of work on it, but my deal was to sell it running and driving, 10 grand, and I've done a lot more work on it. Once I get the mufflers on it, it'll be running and driving and street legal, which is quite a ways from just running and driving. Having all the lights hooked up and everything, I thought it worth some more, but I'm moving, and don't really much care. I'll get out of it what I can. Same guy that bought that from me is the guy that owns this Border Patrol thing. I had to take down my canopy here. That'll be easy. It's not going to be so easy to take that shed apart, but it was like 500 bucks, so might as well do it. Anyway, another step on the rat rod here. Well, I'm back here on the 37. This is the stock filler tube. It should go right in this place someplace. I didn't try to use that one. I got a kind of a nice aftermarket one here, but trying to put the stick in it here, it kind of hits right there at the bottom. I had it mounted in front, but I couldn't get in. Rather than mess with it, I just took it off and put it here where I could get a straight shot at it. But I got it full of fluid and fired the motor up. It goes in forward and reverse, so we're pretty close on fluid. I think this is a stock tube. I'll just leave this with it in case the guy wants to put a stock tube in. And but anyway, I got it full of fluid and I don't see no leaks anywhere. So now I'll move on with the wiring. I got my key switch hanging down there. I think I took the keys out the other day and put them so nobody would find them, and so I can't find them. Anyway, I ordered another key switch. If I do find those keys, it'll still be a good one. Here's my little flasher wiring and stuff. Those wires up there in front, the green and yellow brown ones, these are ones going to my lights. So I need to sort this mess out here and get it all straightened out. That's a plan for today. Now I got it starting and running. I can clean up all these wires here, get them hooked up good, and then I can put the floorboard and my throttle pedal on. Right now I have to run the carburetor by hand. Anyway, next little wiring job, I get that finished up. It's not raining, but close. Got 2 more days of no rain. I got to do as much as I can on this thing. Well, this is kind of done. I wire tied up my spark plug wires. I found out that these 3 wires here are my left, right, and running lights. Somehow I had messed up and got my running lights grounded to the ground wire was running to this running light, so I cut that off and I just ran a wire over here and grounded it, and I wire tied that up. Anyway, now I got the right wires for the turn signals in, and I put these I put the wires for the headlight there. They're just running back and forth to the headlight. I didn't ever jump them things. So basically they're just running across in there 3 wires. My radiator's in now, so it's going to be impossible to take that light off, because the bolts are, one of the bolts is in front of the radiator. I should have done that in the beginning, but I think I can probably get right in here and get to those 3 wires. One is ground, and we got high and low beam. Anyway, that's a deal for another day. I don't know how I managed to screw that up, but I did. So it's getting kind of dark and cold. Motor fired up, run really good. Kind of jealous of it. It's gonna be a radical truck, man. Anyway, it goes back and forth under its own power, and tomorrow I can figure out how to jump into those headlight wires there. I was going to do it before I put the radiator in, but I fooled around and forgot about it. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I'll get that done tomorrow. I dug my headlight wires out here. I remember I left room to do that, so it wasn't a complete screw up. Anyway, black is ground. Normally blue is high, but in this case blue is low and the white is high beam. So I'm going to run my wire over here to the main ground I've got there on the thing, and unfortunately I got one black wire here that's going to the turn signals, but I'll sort that out. I'll just I'm going to have some wires that are duplicated. I didn't have enough colors, but anyway, I got mostly all blacks over there for ground, so this headlight ground is going to run across there, and I'll zip tie it in and put some grounds in there. Well, here's my turn signals and headlights. Got them all wired up. I have to do one ground over there, but this will go down through here and into the inside of the car. And got my floorboard and dimmer switch laying here. And I can stick that in and fill that hole there, and I can finish up the wiring. So we're moving along. My new steering wheel came today, so I don't think I got an adapter for it yet, but that'll fix that up. I just fired it up again. Starts good, sounds really bad. Badass. Motor's fine, and you shut it off, it just dies. Pretty high compression. Yeah, this thing's going to be a screamer. I found another one, a stock one, but I don't think I'm going to get it. A lot of work on an old rusty truck to make them look nice, and it's never really going to be worth more than 12,000-13,000, and something like this with a good motor and transmission in it, you know, you're looking at 20, so same amount of work really. Anyway, I'll finish putting these wires and floorboard in there and see what we got. Well, I'm getting kind of tired. Basically got all these wires ready to go in. I got the floorboard in. I started putting in the accelerator pedal. I need to have a nut and drill a hole in it. So I don't have a nut. I got a whole box of them, but not that one. So anyway, we'll call it quits on this for now. Tomorrow I'll get that, well, it's going to rain tomorrow, but I got to hook up the accelerator pedal. I got a wheel that's coming, and should be able to at least drive it back and forth here. We'll see tomorrow or the day after. Well, I got my new key switch in. It works good. And I got the steering wheel on it. I tied up all my wires. Right now I'm working on the turn signals. Not sure what's going on there, but seems like when I either hit left or right, they both come on. So I probably got a ground wrong. Anyway, I'll have to sort that out. But looking pretty good. It's going to rain here any minute. So I'll clean up my tools and tarp this thing real good. It'll be raining for a couple days. And got my flasher kind of hooked up there. And wiring problems. I'll sort this out later. But I got my accelerator pump in. It starts and runs good. And up here I got my thermostat or my temperature switch in. Good springs on the throttle. It closes itself. Easy enough to start it. But I'm kind of hit a snag here with this ground. I think it's right in this area here. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll get it sorted out. Got the wires going into the firewall where I want them. Starting to look pretty clean. Closer and closer. A couple more days I'll have this thing wired up, and then I just weld the fenders on and I'll be done.